Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Tea Soup, a podcast all about tea culture, life in modern China, and Chinese tea. I'm your host, Derek Poskin. I've been living in China since 2016, and I've been drinking, buying, and selling Chinese tea for the past decade. So, pop on that kettle, heat up your teaware, and let's get this session started. All right, so today in this episode, I'm once again joined with my partner in the cooperative, Alex.
Welcome to Qimen.
Yeah, that's where we are. Currently, we are in Qimen looking at, what are we looking at?
Looking at Qimen Hongcha.
Named after the city. We found a lot of cool things out about Qimen and Qimen Hongcha, one of which is that not all Qimen Hongcha comes from Qimen.
Perhaps most.
Perhaps most. And we were talking to them, and they're kind of like mei banfa about it. They're like, well, yeah, Chuzhou can make Qimen, and Jingzijiang can make Qimen. It's kind of a weird thing. And even like the registered trademark of Qimen doesn't belong to Qimen County. Who does it belong to?
It belongs, I guess, Qihong. So if you omit the mun, you just say Qihong, which I think nobody does, right?
I don't anymore, probably.
Not anymore, yeah. Supposedly that trademark belonged to Shanghai, because Shanghai was the actual trading company, and they've retained that, and it's just a mess.
They're a little ruthless about the copyright, where it's like, yeah, you can't call it Qihong, which I guess no one does. Anyways, we are currently in Qimen, but that's not what this topic for this podcast episode is. We want to touch base on someplace you went to last summer. Was it the Zhangping
June,
Shuixian?
Zhangping, that's right.
Zhangping. So this is the Zhangping Shuixian. This is that Pello tea, the only pressed oolong that's, survived history. And it's kind of green and roasted. So Alex, you went down there, and right now we're finally getting some feedback. So I guess start at the end. Like, talk about the feedback that we're getting, the idea behind that, and then we'll get into the actual
Sure, so
soup bit.
something that I have seen online is a great variety of what people are actually drinking in their Zhangping Shuixian. If you look on like Reddit or Discord, or you go into like Steepster, you'll see people with this very brown, dark, yellow kind of Shuixian. Maybe it's a couple
Like
of years
roasted?
old, maybe it's roasted. And you also see like very, very green stuff. So I've been trying to figure out what is it people want in their Zhangping Shuixian. So we did this blind sampler, extra double blind.
Extra double blind. We don't even know what was what now.
If not for one picture, it would have been a problem. I had one picture labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, so that way I knew, okay, this is that. But yeah, very polarized feedback. As you
Yeah.
probably have seen so far.
Yeah, because it's almost, there are two samples in particular I'm thinking of, the roasted one and like some of the unroasted ones. Well, the roasted ones I loved it. Xiaoyan liked it,
Yes.
and you,
I did tend towards the greener ones,
yeah,
as did some people online, but not even consistently, right?
right.
I think like
I think it seemed 50-50
50-50
on
probably.
this stuff. The initial feedback we were getting, everyone hated, or not hated, it was their least favorite of the four for the roasted Shuixian. The first like
Yes.
couple pieces of feedback we were getting, and we're like, wow, no one liked it. And then eventually we got more feedback, and it turns out it was 50-50. Like half the
That's
people
right.
liked it, half the people
That's
didn't.
right. That's right.
And I think it could come down to, what you're thinking of when you think of Zhangping Shuixian. Right,
Mhm.
Alex, do you have a Zhangping Shuixian in mind in your head?
Well, before, I think it was the survey at the beginning of this year, someone had mentioned Zhangping Shuixian, and you, Derek, had mentioned to me you wanted to go down there at some point.
It's cool. Yeah, it looks cool.
But before that, I had never heard of this tea. I heard of Shuixian. I thought of like Wuishan, right?
Right,
I
yeah.
did not
So
think of.
Shuixian, what does it mean in Chinese?
What would that be? Daffodil?
No,
Water,
narcissus.
narcissus?
I think it's
Water
narcissus.
immortal? Water immortal?
The immortal, yeah.
A flower?
In the Chinese. I think it's narcissus. But,
Yeah.
daffodil does sound compelling, though. Anyways, this podcast isn't about us guessing Chinese
Trying to
words.
guess like how you translate a flower.
But yeah, so Alex brings up a really cool point where it's like, in China, this tea is not very common. Maybe it was common in the past, maybe it's fallen out of vogue, but I never see people in China drinking it. Like maybe once, but it seems like one of the teas that does get exported quite a bit. it's an interesting tea. We see it on Discord, on Reddit, and stuff like that. People drinking it, and it looks cool. But in China, it just seems like there is no hype for it. And so this will be an interesting view because you went down to the source, and I wonder how it looks on the ground. But before we get into that, yeah, let's back up a little more and talk about, yeah, like, is it Zhangping? Is that the place?
Zhangping is a county. I guess now it's a city. Like it's confusing in China where like they have there's like the municipality, and then above that there's like the prefecture, right?
The Shen and Shun?
Not quite. Well, for example, when you go to like let's say you go to Yangzhou,
Uh-huh.
right? What's that place? Gaoyou.
Gaoyou? Yeah.
Gaoyou was a county. I think now it's a city, but
Yeah.
it's part of Yangzhou City. So
Okay,
there's
I
like the
see. Yeah.
prefecture level, then there's like the county level. They used to confusingly call it traditionally.
Yeah.
Maybe it's better to think of it as a municipality. So there's like the larger prefecture underneath the province. It goes province, prefecture, municipality,
Municipality, bro.
then
Yeah.
down to your township, then down to the village.
Okay, yeah.
So it's
Because yeah, you look online, the population of Yangzhou is like 4.5 million. And I'm like, that's a huge amount of people for this small city, right? And it's like the actual living population is closer to like 800,000, but then they're calculating in Yijiang, Jiangdu, Gaoyou, all into like this
yes.
municipality. And sometimes municipalities just get so wild they become their own city states, right? Like Chongqing,
Yep.
right? Chongqing, it's like 30 million people in Chongqing, but it's not just the city. It's
It's all those fun little Wanzhou, Orchid Bud hometown, Yongchuan, all those random places. But
So back
yeah.
back to Zhangping. So Zhangping is, you were mentioning, the municipality.
Yes.
It's
So
it's
it's
the
part of another
rooster,
city called Longyan. I've never heard of.
Longyan,
Longyan. So
Dragon Eye,
it's
Dragon
interior
Eye,
Dragon Longyan
Dragon Eye. I
Dragon
think, yeah,
something. Interior of southern Fujian. It's like you're gonna go
uh,
directly inland from Xiamen. Directly is that Amoy? I think
yeah, the
OTO.
old Amoy.
You're going directly inland, and man, it is rugged country. It's not what you think of with Fujian, right? I imagine Fujian being incredibly wealthy, being incredibly fancy, but it is more rugged up there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
for
I think
sure.
when you get down south, I remember like, yeah, Shaman's very wealthy, but then it's like I went to Anxi, right? Anxi and Chuanzhou. Chuanzhou, for me, it was like when you mentioned that, I was like, isn't that Anxi though? Like Anxi
And she
Tianguanyi?
is nearby, and she's
Yeah.
quite nearby. Yep.
Because yeah, when I went to Anxi, it was like I went up from Xiamen and I went through Chuanzhou, and Chuanzhou is where they're making a lot of the porcelain. I think Dehua is near there. Dehua, where they're making like the cheaper porcelain these days, in opposed to Jingdezhen. And then you keep going inland. I think if you go further north, you get to Anxi, but then if you go just dead inland or even closer to Guangdong, that's when you get to the Zhangping area.
Yep. Yeah, I think it is closer towards Guangdong.
And so, oh, I do take it back because yeah, in Xiamen, I did see a lot of people drinking Zhangping Shuixian,
Mm.
and that's when I first thought like, man, this tea, it's impractical. Like there's like 10 grams of tea in this little gaiwan, and like you can't even get any water in there because it just sucks up all the water, and you're pouring out these tiny little cups.
And I think they're so habituated to it. Like even when we were there, three places tried to give us these like branded jumping station, like two size little guy ones, and they're like 100 milliliters. They're
Really
not.
tiny,
They're smaller guys, right? And they just completely fill up with the tea. But
right?
they're completely habituated to that way of drinking. So they'll drink like what, 12 cups, 13 cups, like a
Yeah,
ridiculous
yeah.
amount.
And it's like this is like the origin of the Gongfu tea ceremony out in this area. Because
Mm,
again, this area is also very close to Chaozhou. I think when
mm,
I was in Xiamen, I took maybe a 3 4 hour bus ride to get to Chaozhou.
mm.
It wasn't far away, and so it's like Chaozhou credited for having the birth of the Gongfu tea ceremony with the small brewing vessels, small cups. And then you get over to Anxi and Xiamen, Zhangping, and they're doing the exact same thing, right? And so, like you said, they're probably just habituated to it.
Well, if I had to guess, it was brought from shaman to Zhangping, very much. Because I know
Mm.
like Zhangping is one of those Sanxian, like the third line industry projects, like back in the 50s. So China wants to bring all of its important industry away from the coast, right? Just in case.
Just in
Just in
case,
case,
because
right?
it is very close to Taiwan,
It's
and
very close to Taiwan. So all of these factories in Xiamen were then moved up, just kind of up into Zhangping. So when you go there, it's incredibly industrial in a way you
okay,
would I've never seen for a tea city, the way I've never
yeah.
seen for a mountain city,
Oh,
period.
okay, yeah.
So
So
there's
yeah, hiding the industry in the mountains. Yeah,
that's right, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
and that's why I said like that's where in this region exists Dehua, and they're producing a lot of the porcelain, right?
Is it also quite industrial?
I haven't been there. I
Okay.
want to go there, but when I was looking at it, there's just like rows of factories making the same kind of teaware and stuff like that.
You know you're going to a factory town because the roads are just completely demolished, right?
Yeah,
By the
why is
huge
that? Yeah,
trucks
the
coming in. Yeah,
trucks.
they just
Yeah,
like so look.
the trucks destroy the roads. I remember one time it was in Bailing, right? In Bailing, when Cho first brought me to his factory in
Mm.
Panxi, we were driving through Bailing and the roads were just crushed and destroyed. And I'm like, why? He's like, well, this is where they make the roads. I'm like, what do you mean they make the roads? They're like, they make the bricks and the stones and everything for the roads, and the trucks drive on the roads with the stones for the roads, and they break the roads. And I'm just like, catch
That's
22.
exactly it. They make
Catch 22.
concrete in
Yeah.
Zhangping. That's
Yeah.
exactly what they're doing. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
exactly right. So
It's so funny. Yeah, it's like the city that makes the roads has broken roads.
yeah, that was a planned industry. It's still state-owned. But so
Okay.
you have this population of factory workers in the mountains who are still there now, like, decades and decades later. And they're all drinking Zhangping Shuixian. So for me, it's that I think I took a picture in downtown, and the contrast of in the way far distance, the beautiful tea mountains of Nanyang, right by the city, the industrial core, and then in the city itself, it's quite beautiful. Lots of parks. There's this nice little river, right? And just that contrast of very green, beautiful, almost kind of like jungly terrain, industry, and then the people who live there, I don't know, it was crazy to see like these like gritty people. When we were trying to get to this park, there's no taxi service in this
Oh,
city,
really?
but I've never seen anywhere
Huh.
in China, like no, none whatsoever. And see, all you can do is Didi, it's just like the Uber. And I remember the second driver we got was like, "Where do you guys want to go?" I was like, "Oh, I'm looking for tea." He's like, "You looking for tea?" And then like said, "Well, come back to my place." And he took us to his son's auto repair shop. And it's just, it's an auto repair shop. It's completely grimy, and there's the son like in his like overalls,
Mm.
and then he's just like, "Oh, you guys want to drink tea?" Takes off these disgusting, greasy, oily overalls, goes in the back, comes back out as like a Chinese like boss kind of look, right?
Yeah.
And he says, "All right, let's sit down." And then behind all the cars he's working on, there's a tea table,
Huh.
and you just drink a whole bunch of Shuishan, and
Did you smell the car oil as you were drinking the tea?
it didn't smell like a great place. I guess I wasn't thinking about the car.
But it had like a typical like mechanic's garage
Yeah,
smell about it. Yeah.
there's a certain sweetness to that kind
There
of,
is,
oh yeah,
yeah,
a certain
yeah.
sweetness in the air.
You like the smell of gasoline too?
I do,
Yeah.
I do,
Who
yeah.
doesn't, right?
Yeah, yeah. The taste, no.
The taste is different.
But the taste kind of burns, right? If I recall. But I don't know. I really enjoyed just that kind of contrast. For whatever reason, there was beauty to that to me, just of
Yeah, I
those.
think the juxtaposition does
Mm.
does create beauty.
And
And
yeah.
yeah.
But one final thing is, it reminds me of yesterday when we were talking to B, and this tea producer here, B Shifu, Master B in Qimen, and he's talking about the machines at his factory. He says, "Wow, these beautiful
Oh
machines."
yeah.
Who today
Hmm.
describes their factory as beautiful?
Yeah. And he was so passionate about it, right? He's like, we got machines from Germany, right? Machines from where else? Yeah.
Soviet Union,
Soviet Union. He did not say America, yeah.
not say Britain,
Britain, yeah.
and the fake Chinese ones, right? 我们仿的, the fake
Oh yeah,
Chinese ones.
the ones we reverse engineered.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah, because yeah, B is so funny. He was born in the factory and just like loved it so much.
And that is a kind of pride.
Yeah,
And there's a great photographer who's done a series on these uh, factories that moved inland, and it's like the communities that they're really beautiful, self-contained communities,
right.
like we saw around
Self-contained.
that, and all the pride in that. And now it's just kind of, I think, fading out.
I don't know. You get a little bit in that in the structure of modern apartment complexes in China. They're essentially danyuans, right?
You're
They're,
right.
they're
You're right.
work
Yeah.
units. So this goes back to the idea like when you create a factory, you have workers there, and then you create everything the workers need to live. And in the West, like when I first heard about this, I was like, it sounds like it's like a work camp. It's like a prison, right? Where it's
Mm.
like, this is your factory, and then here's everything you need. You never have to leave the bounds of the factory. But in truth, what it's doing is it's creating a community, creating a village. And so it's like you get this echoed in the modern apartment complexes that are gated communities. And they'll have a barber shop, they'll have, a vegetable place to buy vegetables, they'll have even kindergartens and daycares and stuff like that right in the community where you live. And so for me, like in Yangzhou, if I want to go buy groceries, it's not even, I don't even have to leave my apartment complex. It's like a 4-minute walk and I can get to the grocery store.
Mm.
And so there is certainly a benefit in that. And so I think we're seeing echoes of it, but at the same time, not the same way we were seeing
Mm.
here in Qimen.
Yeah, and I guess there's an echo of that in Zhangping. These are still living factories and very industrial population. When people get off work, it's that stampede.
Oh,
You've
really?
seen before when a factory gets off work in China, and it's just that
Oh, no.
huge mass of people all flooding back into the city to sit on the road, drink their shuishan,
Yeah, it
eat their
sounds wonderful,
frogs.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's
And I think this is something we've always been about since we first started, since we first came to this neck of the woods looking for tea, is finding that the modern tea farmer, right? The
mm,
modern tea farmer slash mechanic slash
sure.
factory worker slash ex coal miner slash, he's not. And it's funny too because like even like Master B, who's like a cultural heritage intangible culture inheritor.
Yeah, it's a mouthful to
It's a
say.
mouthful.
That's a truth.
But he also, he comes from the factory background. He doesn't
Mm.
come from the mountains where he was like, studying in a hut, right? And so it was cool probably seeing like this, yeah, just a new vision of the modern tea farmer down in Zhangping. And what tea did he make, this mechanic?
So Xie was the
Shit.
mechanic's name. Um, I think if you were lucky enough to get like the expanded sampler, I think it was number 3, and they were
Oh,
in Shuangyang. So I guess to back up for a second, Zhangping City is the proper industrial core. Then you have to go up and over the mountains, safely away from all the smokestacks. Then you get to Nanyang, and if you go even farther north, you reach Shuangyang. So yang here means ocean. I don't know why all these places in Fujian have yang in the name, like
yeah,
Taiyang. Nothing to do with the ocean.
right
There must be
by the
some
ocean.
dialect, I don't know, historical ocean, but like, so Nanyang, South Ocean, Shuangyang, Double Ocean. He's from Double Ocean. He's from Shuangyang, and yeah, his tea was pretty gosh dang good, and he had all the awards, right? He was very proud to be like, this one got the princess. And they have their own award system down there, where it's like there's the prince, there's the princess,
It's so funny to
and
think of mechanics, car mechanics drinking a tea called flowers, called Narcissus. The Narcissus daffodil flower, and he's like, this one got the princess award.
I know, right? And but this rough guy, and he had like the kind of like the millennial haircut, you know what I mean, where the sides were completely like faded, and then up
Sure.
top he had like the big hair, the
Oh,
big
okay.
like swoosh of
Pompadour.
hair.
Yeah,
Yeah, almost like a pompadour.
yeah,
There is a certain like zoomer
yeah. It adds height
haircut.
to you if you're short.
Yes, yes, yeah. Oh, well, that could be it. But he uh, he was like really insistent because he had the pinchashi certificate. He had like the tea
Oh, okay. Well,
taster, the tea assessor certificate. He's like, all right, if you're drinking shuishan, rules are different. First, you open the bag, and as you've seen jumping shuishan, what is the bag? What does the bag look like?
it's just like I don't know, like a little. I don't know how to describe it. It's a small note card sized plastic bag with pouch. Yeah,
Yep, yeah, pouch is probably the
pouch is
best word.
probably
I
the
think the
best way.
best word. And then either it's like kind of a cardboardy material on the outside, or it's a plasticky material, and then on the inside aluminum lined, right?
But it's most certainly airtight sealed, vacuum sealed.
Yes, and some of them are like even to like the Taekwongan style, where it's
Yeah.
completely sealed. And first you open that. There's like a little plastic lining inside that usually. Take that off, and then he just smells the paper. He's just like, you gotta
Yeah.
smell the paper.
So in the paper it's wrapped in.
That's right. So
Right.
there's an internal like paper where they've wrapped it
Yeah.
in.
And so this is like the iconic image of Zhangping Shuixian. It's pressed into these little pillows, and then it's wrapped in paper. And then the paper is like it's kind of like folded over, enveloped into it, and the paper is sealed with like a heat tool. I bought one of those one time. It's terrifying. Have you seen those?
I have seen those, and
And so and so
they're
so they'll have them plugged in, hanging from the ceiling, and it's just essentially a metal rod that's burning hot on the tip, and it doesn't turn off. You just have to unplug it. And so you plug it in, and you get this burning hot rod, and you just like solder. You're not solder. You seal it. Anyways, so smelling the paper, meaning you don't take the paper off the tea.
he would give it a smell like that. He would then take out the tea, put it in his little gaiwan. Water's heating up. Smells the paper
Oh,
again.
okay. So
So
he would smell it with the tea inside, and then take the tea out and smell it again.
for him it's just like
The paper's it.
there's the three smells. You got the paper smell, you got the water smell, and then you got the lid smell. And they're all for him. Like there's the smell. So then you've brewed it up, right? And then after that first or second infusion, you're gonna give a little sniff to the lid, right? That's the lid smell. Then after it's all gaiwan, right? And then after it's really opened up, right? The pillow, it takes a while to like actually envelop the entire cup. 3, 4, 5 infusions.
Oh, jeez.
Then you smell
Too
the
many.
water.
Okay.
And that for him, it's so aroma oriented in a way I'm not used to.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, these fragrant oolongs. And I think like you mentioned before, so putting this back into the tea context, Fujian is supposedly, and you can challenge me on this, like the only place for oolongs in China is all from Fujian. I
I
mean,
think so. I
there's
think so.
Dansong, which is right across the border,
But
but
it
it's
came it
still
came down, right? It came
right.
from Fujian
And
ultimately.
so
Sure.
Fujian is all about oolongs because up north you have the Wu Yancha, right? And then down south you have Anhui Tieguanyin. And then over here you have Zhangping Shuixian. And then you have the Dansong very nearby. And then across the strait you have all of the Taiwanese oolongs,
Mm.
which no doubt came from Anhui and came from this region. Oolongs tend to be more about fragrance. I think with Dansong, with the Yancha, you get a little more roast, you get a little more mouthfeel, you get a little more about the texture. But this Anshi style certainly is more about the fragrance. And with John Shuixian being so close to Anshi, I think you even compared, you said if you want fragrant oolong, pick John Shuixian over Anshi Tieguanyin, right?
Mm.
Just because, I don't know, like it seems like Anshi has, overstepped, right? Where it's just like they're overproducing, they're creating a lot of not very good teas, they're kind of starving the soil with too much pesticides, fertilizers, and stuff like that, and the quality of their tea has just steadily been going down for a long time. I'm not sure if it's the same for Zhangping Shuixian though.
I mean, from what we saw, so getting back to the tea field, so not in Shenyang, but in Nanyang, to your point, it's just all Shuishan. As far as the eye can
Okay.
see, it's all delicious monoculture, one
Monoculture,
culture,
okay, yeah.
and
Which is
row
which
after
is
row,
what I was afraid of in Anshi when I saw that.
and
Yeah.
not organic,
Not organic
conventional,
again.
if you will.
Yeah. So I think they're just fucked. Yeah.
And so I think it's just Zhangping has the advantage of being
Different.
famous later. So I
Okay.
don't think it was quite as intensively cultivated, but I'm following Chun, who's the one young farmer there who sells on TikTok. We'll talk
Okay.
about him more in a
Nice.
second. But
Yeah.
like I think he does spring tea, he does summer tea, he does early autumn, he does autumn tea. So that's
Oh.
four
Wow.
seasons.
Early autumn and autumn.
Yeah, I think right now it's autumn, but then
Okay.
like a 3 or 4 weeks ago, he's already doing his that round, if you will.
Okay. Yeah, because I think for Dan Song, like the autumn tea is about to start, right? I think it
Mm,
goes until like
yes, that's right.
November.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then they do.
Though sometimes they call it winter tea. Anyways, tea seasons. Sometimes they say autumn fragrance, summer or spring water, right?
Yes.
But I think did we have any autumn teas in the sampler, in the blind sampler?
That was two.
Number two.
Two was autumn.
Okay. Do you have anything more to say about Mechanic Shu?
No, because it's unfortunate that we met them at the very end, like on the way out. So we
Okay.
didn't get to go to Shuangyang. Definitely will follow up from them.
Double C.
So yeah, we'll see them again. We'll see them again.
Okay. So who is the guy who made the autumn tea?
The guy who made the autumn tea and the roasted one that you
Oh,
liked
cool.
was Chun, was his name. And I found him on TikTok. Now
Oh, this is the guy. Cool.
at that time, he only had like 0 to 1 likes on all of his posts, but he was posting every day.
He's posting every day.
Now he has like 20 or 30 per video.
Yeah,
So
he's getting there.
he's getting there. And but even when he had like 0 or 1, the crazy thing was he was selling almost all his tea on TikTok.
Whoa.
So people were not actually watching the videos. They're just searching Zhangping Shuixian
This
farm
guy,
direct.
This guy seems legit.
And then okay, yeah, and they just buy. I don't care about your video. I want and he's selling mostly to Dongbei,
Okay.
which is unusual because it seems like most of the tea there historically was going to like Chinese diaspora. It's going to like Indonesia. It's going to Singapore.
What do you mean, like the Zhangping?
Zhangping Shuixian. So a lot of that tea was going to Xiamen or Shantou and being exported historically. And now there's more of a domestic market. But I asked him like, what are you selling to Dongbei online so much? And he's selling the iced tea.
What is iced tea?
It's not finished tea. It's still damp. He never dried it, and he put it in the freezer as a popsicle, because they want it as fresh and fragrant as possible. So he sends that in like an ice box wrapped up through super express shipping to Dongbei, and then people are drinking it.
Do they roast it? Do they dry it?
It never dried. It's exactly as it was before they finished it. That makes sense, right? So it's okay. So Zhangping Shuixian, it's been withered, right? It has been shaken. It has been compressed, and bye-bye. Now it's going into the fridge, and it's going to be frozen until whenever someone wants to buy it. And that's like the big gimmick now.
That is bizarre. Yeah, it sounds like Tang Dynasty tea. Like
it's I mean it's Baroque. It's strange, right?
It's interesting that's catching on. Huh. And so it's iced tea, popsicle tea. Have you tried it?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it. Why?
There was a certain like qingwer. There was a certain
Green
not
taste.
green as in it's floral and light, but green as in it tastes like grass. Like, there was a grassiness to it that was not pleasant.
So yeah, so that qingwar, that grass, that green taste. Where else do you get the grass taste?
Green tea,
Where you
right?
don't want it. Where you don't want it.
Oh, where I don't want it, red tea.
Red tea.
Red tea, I don't want it.
So red tea, if it's under processed, if it's not oxidized properly, it'll have this green taste to it. And so if you're drinking red tea with somebody and say, "Oh, yo, qingwar," you're done. It's over.
They don't like it.
It's over. That's like saying like it's a terrible insult.
And what I don't understand, I guess, with Zhangping is they love the fragrance so much. Finishing the tea, I think, boosts the fragrance, does it not? Or yeah, that's my impression of it.
I remember in the Golden Green place, the Qimen Cooperative. Well, that's when I first saw like their very final machine, like after the tea is dry, is the Tiwen Ji. Tea Gaoji or something like that.
They're gonna Tishang. They're gonna
The
Tishang.
Ji, yeah. And so they're fixing the fragrance. Is specifically what they're doing. Is that final baking process to get that fragrance right. And so yeah, I would assume baking makes it. So like maybe it's not even the fragrance; it's just that
freshness.
That freshness.
People love it, and yeah. So that is when people are buying Zhangping Shuixian, that's what they have in mind, right? Okay. They want that freshness. They want that greenness. They want that plurality.
And so this guy's mostly selling that stuff to Dongbei, but he's also doing the roasted teas, right?
Yep.
And so the roasted teas, is that more traditional?
No, that's completely new. Only like in the last 3 or 4 years, like traditionally, I mean, we went to the museum too, because like one of the grandpa mentioned, like he said like the old school ones were like 30 or 40 grams. They were huge. The pills used to be bigger. They used to be larger. And I have to, this was the big reveal at that very museum. It's not ancient. It was a gimmick. It was a late Qing Dynasty gimmick.
Qing Dynasty.
Because this guy, this landlord, this merchant went up to Huangshan, went up north, saw people were growing the rock tea, making lots of money, and he was thinking, what can I do to have an outstanding product, right? Oh, yeah. So people have not just been inventing gimmicks, in the last 10 years or 100, even more than 100 years ago. He was thinking, how can I make this tea distinct? And
Well, so yesterday, we had the day before, we had some gimmick teas, right?
Yeah, and like are they bad?
No, they're cool.
No, yeah.
so it's just like, how do we take a tea that is not selling and make it more interesting and make it more, captivating for people? It's like, okay, like we'll wrap it into the shape of a zongzi, right? A little dumpling.
Sure.
Right? We'll press it into a TK. I mean, we did that with Dan Song, right?
Yep.
And they did that in 2000, early 2000s with white tea. They're like, what are we going to do? We'll press it into cakes. And it's like, wait, white tea wasn't always pressed into cakes? No, that's a recent invention.
Mm.
And so, as Alex is saying, like this idea of the Shuixian, Zhangping Shuixian being pressed into pillows, it's a late Qing dynasty. What's that? Late
Yeah, he's
1800s?
18 something. Yeah.
18
And
something, yeah.
then the real like modern system with the modern like it's pressed in this wooden mold, right?
The
But it's
wooden
very
molds, yeah, they're cool. I bought some of those too.
okay. Well, and it seems like that final form wasn't even there till like the 20s or 30s.
Really?
As late as
1920s,
the Republican era, it did not reach its final like modern form, and that's crazy to me. It just blows my mind
Yeah.
that it's. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, we're in Qimen right now, right?
Mm.
A tea where if we had come to the same place 200 years ago, no one would heard of red tea, right?
Right. But if we came 100 years ago, it would be in full
That's
fury,
right. That's
right? Like
right.
this would be, because yeah, like we'll probably do a Qimen episode, but yeah, like there was such cool history here for like what Qimen did for China during the time,
Sure.
right? It was such a huge export, and it wasn't even available domestically, right? Until like 2000, early 2000s. Like,
That sounds like.
yeah. But anyways, it's cool uncovering these, the historical truths about of tea in the actual location, in the museum and stuff like that. So
I
the
guess there's just a timelessness to tea, though. So people, when they drink it, if they just naturally will imagine and project it backwards. There's just
yeah,
such a, I don't know what it
I
is.
I think also there's a lot to be said about historical confirmation of a new product, right? Like
Mm,
you're always trying to sanctify something with time and
that's
connect
right.
it connect it with the ancient past. And when you create something new, you're saying it has justification because Cicero once talked about this in his writings.
There was a letter to Atticus that said, I love
I love
Zhangping
tea.
Shuixian. Oh, no.
He did say Narcissus, so maybe he was talking about flowers, but it's uncertain, right? When we translate it, it says John Pinstration.
Yes, yes. Zhangping Shuixian solo seyama. I just love that alone. Even the Zhangping Shuixian.
But yeah, so and I think China also currently is a big player in that, where it's everything is ancient, everything comes from
Mm,
history, everything.
yes.
We've been doing this. We're trying to connect with our culture, and like John Shan, roasted John Shan, the roasted one especially is the more traditional, right?
Mm.
Let's just call it roasted traditional, and then the other one we'll call it like bouquet. Yeah. Fascinating. So yeah,
Mm.
so that the roasted John Shan is a modern invention.
Very modern. And the explanation I got was, he said some people now, they think they're going to be buying Wuishan tea. They
Oh,
see
Shan.
Suishan, they
Yeah.
think, because Suishan, the cultivar, comes from northern Fujian, right? It's not,
Mm,
it was brought there
yeah.
intentionally. So when they see Suishan, they're thinking of a roastier one. So in order to appease that customer base, he started roasting, I think, last year or the year before,
Okay. Wow.
but it's not selling well. But there is still, I don't know though. Like for me, I would think it sells better. I guess is my initial.
Well, I was taken by the gimmick, right? I was
Mm.
I was like, yeah, like I want the real stuff.
Ah, give me the real deal.
Give me
Give me
the
the.
real one. Yeah, the roasted
Well, and
one.
I think what that comes from in part is we think of like Tieguanyin, and when you see a green one, you think this is not the Zhengwei, this is not the real deal, right?
Yeah.
The green Tieguanyin is like the new like cheating product or whatever, right?
Right. And so yeah, so you think the Tieguanyin tradition is roasted or green?
I don't think it's as green as we see today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, and again, I could also be being misled, right? I mean, I haven't been there, but I've been told before, like the Zhengwei, like the Orthodox, is not the super duper green one we see today.
Right. And
Um,
and that could just be from processing techniques, right? Like abilities. However, it seems like since Zhangpin Shuixian doesn't have that kind of history, it was probably always produced relatively green, relatively
mm.
preserved in the late 1800s, and they're able to catch that fragrance.
Now, would it be so green when it reached Indonesia in those
Oh,
paper bags,
in
like
the paper bags, yeah, because
in the
they probably
1930s
they
and
probably
40s?
didn't seal them in plastic, right?
Probably not. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting though.
Hmm. So yeah, so tell us more about Chen and his teas, right? So we talked a little bit about the roasted one. He also did autumn, right?
That's right. So he did the autumn tea, which was my favorite, not because I think it tasted the best, but because I thought it was like um, the most different, I guess. I always like things that are weird. I always want to drink like the weird taste, the different taste. I'm a collector. I'm a
Yeah,
collector of strange things.
you drank the bug tea before I found it, and you sent me some, the bug
Ah,
poop tea.
the
Right.
bug poop tea. Yeah, well,
I just found that this year, and I was like, "Ooh, Alex would love this." And you're like, "I already drank it and sent you a sample." I'm like, "Oh,
it's sour. You try it? You try
yeah, I
it?
tried it. Yeah, it's
Not,
okay.
it's okay.
It's like a very weak cooked pu'er, is what I thought.
I mean, what's the complaints like the world is being destroyed because these like stupid gentlemen, they never tire in their hunger for like
And the
the
novelty.
novel, and it's just like destroying it, and that protect potentially antisocial tendency. I have it in full force. I want the cool stuff. I want the weird stuff, and so that seemed to me like the most different from the teas we offered. It was the most floral. It was the most almost kind of sour. It was the yeah, and it was very. It had the fragrance without too much of a body. It was kind of weaker. So that was the one I gravitated towards, and I have a whole gin for myself
Oh, really?
that I've been
Of the
working
autumn
through
of the
of the autumn one of the autumn one.
autumn pillows.
Yeah.
What was you painted the picture of Shu's mechanic shop.
Mm.
What was the guy Chen like in his tea house?
Tea house. Well, it was
Is that too high of
house
a word?
house.
In his
It was a
house.
house. It was a house. He's in okay. So Nanyang Township, right? You go up over this mountain, and then you go into this valley. Like so, it's Nanyang Township, right? You get there. We visited someone else there, and it was just pouring rain.
Oh,
Chun then comes over the mountain on his motorcycle
hell yeah.
and puts me and Xiaoyan in the back. So it was all three of us,
Hell yeah.
tripled up. And then in the pouring rain, we went up and over and then back to his house. And it was, maybe a 15-minute ride. And yeah, so his parents were asleep, middle of the day. It's nap time.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, okay.
This is probably a guy in his late 20s, early 30s. And he quit his job, I think, at the factory because his parents had this land here, and he wanted to have a go at trying to sell tea online. And so he quit his job, and then Dongkeng is the name of the village,
Okay, right. Yeah.
and he's in Dongkeng village, and it's just beautiful. It's surrounded by tea, and we got to his place, and yeah, it was like a nice, cozy, messy farmhouse, right? And he had a tea table in there, of course, and just fridges upon fridges. All this tea, as I think you probably have seen, is refrigerated,
Okay, right. Yeah. Okay.
including the roasted tea.
Really, the roasted tea
Because I
gets
think in their
refrigerated too.
mind, it's just the make station, it goes in the fridge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it's not because it has to be roasted, it has to be refrigerated, but it all goes into the fridge. Um, so yeah, we got there, and then he just starts pulling out bag after bag from the fridge. Try this, try that, try this, try that, and but he had nothing to say about the tea.
Really.
He could not.
He didn't have the certificate, maybe.
Yeah, with the mechanic guy could articulate things. He was just
He
like,
took a class, yeah.
这个有茶味儿.
Take a shower.
He would say like this one has lots of cha wei, this one doesn't have so much
Oh,
cha wei. This
oh, yeah.
one 香气好. This one 香气 not so good, right?
Okay,
This
yeah.
one's very fragrant, it's not so fragrant. This one has tea flavor, this one not so much. That was all. He didn't have the articulation.
I mean, has Master B talked about the articulation of the tea flavors?
No.
No, he hasn't said a single word about it. He's
Yeah.
just like, you like what you like. He said that a whole lot.
Yeah, he said that a lot.
He's like, if you like the tea, that's enough. So,
So
yeah.
yeah, so maybe someone where he knows how to make the tea, but he does not
know how to explain
express
it.
express it or explain it. But he'll be like, this is the tea. You try this tea. This is a
Yeah.
good one. So and
Okay.
yeah, so he's a nice kid. He's humble, if you will.
Right. And he's young and doing his best. And he's the one with the TikTok, with the Douyin,
That's right.
making all the videos and consistently doing it. Yeah.
He's been grinding, and then I saw now he has so many followers. I was just like, I texted him, it's like, is this still your account? He's like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So he's just kept at it, and
Yeah,
now he's
exactly.
taken off. So
Consistency.
yep. So
That's awesome.
I'm very happy for him. And yeah, I guess maybe this can go into the co-op talk in a second, but like, I'm really excited we're at a time in human history where the producer can talk directly to the consumer in
Oh,
tea
yeah.
like that.
This is my production now.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So-
Hmm. So there's still one more guy. There's the old man, right?
Yes. Oh boy, that was kind of an adventure. There was not a lot of. Okay, so we get to Nanyang first, right? We get a
Nanyang.
car to drop us off in
So
Nanyang
this
Township.
is are we going back to day one when you first arrived?
So day one we first arrived. Actually, to be proper, day one when we first arrived, it was the afternoon.
Hmm.
And we decided just to walk around the city. So before we even got out there, um, we went to this tea house. It was pretty bad, but it was close to the hotel. And while we were sitting there, drinking these really just like there are terrible jumping Shuixians
Yeah.
out there to be had
Yeah.
apparently, and it was really really bad. I was on WeChat just searching like, is there anyone in Nanyang I can just find like Nanyang, hello Nanyang jumping Shuixian. I was like putting in all the keywords. I found like a WeChat person, and it was the daughter of this old man. We then saw the second day, so
Oh.
we drove out there, we got a ride out there, dropped off in Nanyang proper, and I then tried to call the old guy, and communication's not working. I was like
Way.
I said, hello, I'm at the bridge, let Chato, like, someone show when can you come over? I don't know what he said. And I was just like, okay, how I'm here. Like, was hoping that like he would come. And he came,
Oh, cool.
and we then hopped into the back of his, like, like the motor rickshaw,
Oh, yeah.
and then drove to his house, which is 5 minutes away. It's in the township proper. Get in there. He has the certificates on the wall. He's
Oh,
like
lot of awards and
lot
stuff.
of awards. Yeah, he's an old famed producer, and it's him, Xiaoyan, and then the guy's the producer's wife. His name is Lin, and but yeah, it was just he had a lot to say, but I did not understand.
Mm.
And then eventually he ended up calling his daughter who could speak Mandarin, and his daughter was kind of explaining more of the teas,
Okay.
which was fine. Actually, it was all the teas were fine.
Yeah.
But then, about like 20 minutes into the interaction, they remembered they had like a wedding to go to, so they brought me and Shai into the kitchen, and do you know those like it's this cool like plastic coverings they put over the
Oh, yeah,
food
yeah.
to like keep the flies off. They
Yeah.
pulled it off. There's all this food there, and he's just like, eat, sit down, sit down. And they go up to the door, they lock the door, and they leave.
They lock the door.
They close the gate and they just go
Uh-huh.
on their motor rickshaw somewhere, and it's just dumping
Oh,
rain.
it's still pouring
That's when the
rain.
rain begins,
Oh
and
my
we're like,
God.
we're in there. There's still we can get out if we really need to. We can get out of here,
Right. I
right?
mean, how long do weddings last, huh?
But it was just hysterical. We were in this rain. I could be a thief. I could be anyone,
Yeah.
right? And they're just like, all right, we're gonna leave him in there.
Jeez.
And yeah, I guess I could have stolen all their precious jumping station, right?
Yeah,
I could
all
empty
their
the fridge,
certificates, yeah.
all certificates, but
And it's yeah, like you just called them, showed up like an hour ago, right?
yeah, they're just like, all right, peace. I feel
That's
like it was not even
crazy.
an hour we were in there before that interaction.
I did when we were at Master B's apprentice's house. I left the car on and the windows down, and we went
Hmm.
inside and we drank tea for like an hour and a half. And then I realized the car was still on with the windows down.
And it was fine.
It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an interaction. Anywhere else in the world, I would be like full of fear, right? Like something
Yeah.
terrible's gonna happen.
They lock the door.
It's
Yeah.
just like clearly like I'm gonna be sold to Indonesia now. I'm gonna go out with the tea to Indonesia and put a crate or something.
Get in this box.
But no, it was fine. And then at that point, I was like calling Chun, like, Chun, can you bike on down to
Oh, okay.
Nanyang,
So
come get
then
me?
this is where Chen comes over
And
the
Chung,
mountain,
yeah,
like Gandalf in the
but
Helm's
before
Deep.
Gandalf can come over, with the
Cresting.
riders of Rohan,
Yeah.
Link comes back,
Okay.
and then we bought some of his teas and bye, and then hopped on Chen's motorcycle and then we went to his village. That was the whole second day, and then third day was museum, library, then meeting the mechanic. And
Okay.
those were the 3 days.
Okay. So now, getting back into why essentially we're talking about the Zhangping Shuixian is because we've gotten a lot of feedback from it finally. So we
Yes,
released these teas as like a total double blind. You put a little brief description of these tea makers in the product description.
yes, but
Did you
randomized, if you will.
randomize? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you make a blog post as well?
Have I made a blog post? Only on Reddit. I did
On the
not. I
Reddit,
did
okay.
not put one on the website.
Okay. Yeah, so there's been a little bit of information out there about it, but now that a lot of people have had the teas and we can finally say like whose tea is what, and we give like the background of who are these people. So teas number 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Let's
You
do it.
mentioned number 4. We'll start there. That was the odd duck out. Number 4 was the roasted Shuixian
That's right.
from Chen,
That's right.
who
Yep.
came over the mountain, picked you up in the rain.
Yep.
Number 3 is a tea that was only available in small quantities, right?
From the mechanic.
From the mechanic. That was the mechanic.
That was his he's very proud of it. Award-winning tea, right?
Award-winning tea. He could tell you all about the daffodils in it.
Yep.
He got the princess for it. And so that was not available to everyone.
Yep.
I think I had that, and honestly, I wasn't huge on it. I wasn't super stoked.
Yeah.
Then number 2, working back up, this was also Chen.
That was Chen. You did not like that one.
I did not like that one. I did not like Chen's spring tea, right?
No, that was his autumn.
That was his autumn tea. Okay, yeah.
Which
I
was
did not like
better.
his autumn tea. It just felt really watery.
Yeah, that's accurate.
And then number 1 was Old Man.
That's Old Man.
Old Man Lin.
And if you look at the rankings right now, number 1 is Old Man. Old Man Lin.
Liked.
So there are those who put 2 as number 1, but the majority still it's 1.
1 is the favorite.
1 is the favorite. So
Okay,
that spring tea from Chen. So Old Man still got it.
Old
He
Man's
still
got
got it.
it.
Yeah.
Yep, and I like the innovation of the roasted one from Chen.
So we will carry probably those 2 going
so
forward.
A roasted and a non-roasted. Interesting, thinking that the non-roasted is the traditional one.
Yep.
Whew, very, very cool. I did find it was funny because I didn't realize how recent this tea was, from like the late 1800s. And I was like, I wonder if there's a creation myth about it.
And
there is.
let's hear it.
So this is so good because we were just talking about how what you have to do to really sell stuff here in China is connected with the ancient past, right? And so everything needs to be like sanctified in history. Okay, Zhangping Shuixian, it's a tea about, it's Narcissus, and of course there's a story about a fairy. So a fishing fairy comes down on the Xuangyang town in Zhangping Shuixian. Okay, so it's said there's a mountain in Xuangyang town, Zhangping, which was burned by fire one day. All of the people ran away, leaving one young man called Zhu Fengqi. He carried his hoe and chisel to the barren mountain, the terraced fields, and the fairies in heaven saw this and were very startled and came down to earth and directly eloped. She directly eloped to Earth. Okay, ran away to Earth.
She married him?
I don't know. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I haven't read it. As a result, the old man of the jade farm was furious. Oh, because he had set the fire, and then he made a big flood, and they were both separated. So she came to help him out, and then heaven was also angry and made another flood. And so, again, looking at these creation myths, like, okay, there's fire, there's flood, there's stuff happening in this village. Let's see, the fairy.
He burned down the forest?
No, it was the ancient god.
Okay.
Another god, the Jade Emperor, was furious, right?
Okay.
And so the fairy came down to help this man, and that heaven was like, you can't help the mortals, and so he sent a flood after the fire. And then the fairy picked up a tea tree on the wave, and she picked the tea, soaked it in the flood, and fed it to the man who was dying. And the tea soup was so refreshing that it saved his life. And that is how we got Zhangping Shuixian. All right. So the next thing I would do is I would look at historical floods and fires in Zhangping Shuixian. Maybe it came around like maybe there was, terrifying or not terrifying, catastrophic fires and floods, and they needed industry or something like that, right? And then the creation of Zhangping Shuixian saved the village.
So I have to go to the museum.
Yeah, we have to go back to the museum and see if there's any truth in this fairy tale. Yeah.
So yeah, emphasis on fairies, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's one of those funny things where, like I said, everything will have that justification, that historic justification to it. And part of, living in this, especially in this modern era, is knowing when to put your own beliefs into it and be like, I don't agree with this. I think this is, a bunch of BS and stuff. So
yeah, a critical engagement.
Critical engagement.
If you will.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, do you have anything more to say about Zhangping Shuixian?
Just that I think there's so much more to do with it. When we got there for the spring stuff, they only had like the Siji was available, only like grade 4, right?
Okay, well.
So there are higher grades
Oh, okay,
that
cool.
I've never experienced and
Nice.
our customers have never experienced. And
Let's
and
get
if we
some
want to get
from
them,
Mr. Lin. Yeah.
yeah. So we this next spring we'll get in there early and we'll have tea from April as opposed to tea from May, and it might taste very different. So
That's yeah, that sounds really good.
so yeah.
Cool. Yes, and so one thing that I like and I respect about your pushing to do all these surveys, it does seem like a very, egalitarian way to make informed decisions. Like doing surveys, doing critiques, social critiques, asking the people that are buying these teas, what do you like? What do you want? And I think this kind of level of engagement is becoming a little iconic of what we're doing, right? Like what we're
Mm.
really doing is we're trying to create this level of engagement between the producer, between us, and between the consumer, right? And so this, hopefully, we can pivot into the idea of the cooperative structure and kind of giving some updates into what ORT is about.
Yeah, so I think a good like foundational idea would be we're in like a dual service role, I
Mm.
feel like. On the one hand, we're serving the producers, we're trying to get their tea, their information to the consumers, but at the same time improving their livelihood.
Yeah.
We're trying to give them as much of the surplus we're producing together with them, right? By selling this tea back to them and enhance their livelihood. At the same time, it's those use values. It's what the tea does for the consumer. Yesterday, I think we both were agreeing. Tea is keeping us alive, keeping you. I think tea is keeping me alive. It's keeping
Keeping us
you young,
healthy.
right? It's
Yeah,
keeping you
that's
young,
right.
and I feel like that's just true. I
Yeah.
think tea is,
It's a good thing. Like
yeah,
it's funny, yeah. Master B, like he's just like tea is good, and I'm like, yeah, that's wise, that's profound, it's deep, but it's like it really is like if you drink like 3 cups of tea a day, I think it's gonna be amazing for you, right? Like it's
yeah. And have you read that? I haven't read the book, but there's a book called Chao Liao. It's like the tea therapy and food, and probably full of BS, but like still, but there's a kernel to that, which I think
right.
is true.
And so I think what you were saying earlier, though, it's we're a dual service kind of role. And so a lot of this information that we get from these surveys, we pass on directly to the producers.
Yep.
And so we help them inform them like what are the Western markets like? What are they interested in? What do they value? Because that was something that B's apprentice was asking us. Like what do they drink in America? What do they drink in the West? Like what are they interested in? And the more we can inform them, the more they can succeed in these growing global markets.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, that kind of to me connects to we're gonna talk in a second about Pang Dong Lai, that
Mm.
Chinese grocery store chain, which not selling the cheapest food, not necessarily even selling the best food, right? They don't claim that this is like,
Yeah, they're not trying. They're
they're
not
not
claiming.
trying.
Yeah.
They aren't being like these carrots. They're gonna make your toes feel good or something crazy. Like they aren't like making incredible claims or
But
yeah.
what are they doing?
What they are doing though, this and it's become quite the sensation in China. Because I remember, I guess to give some context, we were in Luan recently. Luan. We were in where they make the guapian, and the producer was bragging, "Oh, I I waited in line, and now I got the beer from Pang Dong Lai,
Oh,
and it's okay.
yeah.
It's just like an okay kind of generic like white beer, a wheat beer, if you will.
Wheat
It's
beer.
sweet. It's okay, but
But didn't we find out Cho also sells tea?
yes, so
Yeah.
I was gonna get there.
Okay,
So
cool.
I found a consumer and a producer in the course of one
Hell
year.
yeah.
So this guy in Guapiang was proud of his Pandong Lai beer, and then Cho, which I'm sure many of you know, in Fuding, is selling his tea to Pandong Lai, and he's
Okay.
selling the best tea. Did he say? Is it the best tea?
No?
No,
Okay.
it's just like normal. He's selling like normal shome in quantity, right?
Okay,
And
nice.
he's selling normal shome in quantity. And Pang Dong Lai has this huge now national consumer market, but only one location.
Oh, wow.
You have to go to Xuchang in Hunan to get the stuff,
So he
or
waited in line.
you wait online
Oh, okay.
and it will be shipped to you eventually,
Oh,
right? So
wow.
you get in line. You get in line for the
And
good.
so what's so great about this company, right?
Yeah, why are people doing this? It's kind
Why?
of bizarre, right? Because
Yeah.
you can buy beer everywhere. Well,
It's just a grocery store.
Part of it is all of their employees have this very egalitarian wage structure from the front line to the top, right? They're making crazy money
Yeah.
as like just the person who's bagging a grocery, right?
Mm.
And as a consequence of that, what they're encouraged to do is just like be completely committed to the consumer. They have a good attitude. They're happy. They want to be there. They want
What
to be
about
there.
yeah? What about like yeah, like time off and benefits and stuff like that? Like yeah,
Insanely good. You get like a vacation, right? Managers are encouraged to take like a summer break, which is
yeah.
like
It's
insane.
like 30 days off.
Yeah,
Like
that's
yeah,
right. Which is what they have in Europe. It sounds like, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
yeah.
just seems like right.
Yeah,
It seems like
yeah.
basically. So the
And then
yeah,
another thing about the egalitarian wage structure is it transparent? Can
it
you
is. It
you
is
can see
indeed,
how much everyone's making.
which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. So people know where they are, right? And there's not this internal sense of like you're at a workplace, and if you feel like there's someone screwing you over, or if
Yeah.
there's someone who's like kind of pulling one over
Or
on
it's like, oh,
you,
the new people are getting more money than I am, and I've been here for 3 years. Like,
right? Yeah, yeah. So how do you? And they're doing their best to balance that.
yeah.
They're doing their best to balance. And another cool thing, Xiaoyan, our member owner, my dear wife, is always to this day. We need to wait for the gold price to go down. Then we're gonna go to Xuchang, and she wants to go to the gold market there
Oh,
because when you go to the jewelry section or any section of that store, it tells you exactly where it's from, the exact price the store paid for it, their exact markup, and like a QR code so you can track them down, right? And she's just like
wow.
convinced, like, now, but again, is it the cheapest gold in China?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely not.
Right.
But she's
Right.
convinced it'll be real, and they would never. If there is some deceptive or defective product, she knows she can get her money back. She
Right.
knows they'll make it right,
Yeah.
basically. So that, again, that's that dual service position that they're in, where they are a platform for basically everything in China.
Yeah.
They're serving the initial producers and they're serving the consumers, and that just to me seems like a mode of commerce for the future.
And what's their organizational structure? Like, is there one owner?
So that is the problem
Ah,
with it.
the
I
problem.
I do think he has controlling shares still. It's not
Okay.
like Huawei.
Yeah.
Ren
Yeah.
Zhengfei is 1%. I think he does still have a good deal of the
Oh
shares.
yeah. What was Huawei? The example there.
Huawei is like an ESOP, right? An employee stock option like company where Ren Zhengfei only was like 1% of the company, right?
The
And
creator.
the creator, the founder. And then Ren Zhengfei has given those stocks to everyone who
And he
works
just
there.
he owns 1%.
He owns 1%.
Oh
That's all
my
he
god,
wants.
that's
And then
insane.
what a good guy, right?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, with Pang Dong Lai, I do think, and it's the
Because
same.
he has his vision, right?
He has the vision, and he wants to see the vision implemented
Before he,
before it's
let's go.
yeah, and that's tough, right?
It's
Because
tough,
on
yeah.
the one hand,
Does it die with him? Yeah.
it's working great right now.
Yeah.
Pang Dong Lai is fantastic, but like my biggest concern for that is about like the what were they called? Is it Owen? The Owenites, like in like the 1830s, 1840s, like New Harmony. There was this like really just like nice factory owner, I think in Scotland, and his whole thing was like 8-hour workday, which is revolutionary for the time. You get time off, or we're gonna have a school for the workers, and it was all at the largesse. It was all at
His magnanimity.
his
And
magnanimity, right? Where the power structure. Now, again, consumers want to buy that cotton, much just
yeah,
like consumers want to support Pang Dong Lai today.
yeah,
So, as a marketing model, as a commerce model, fantastic.
Mm.
As a permanent structure of social power for the benefit of those workers in Xuchang with the farmers who support it, right? I don't know. I don't know what will happen. I don't know what will happen. The and I was talking to someone who like used to work in, like running the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, which is this like small credit cooperative, all over Bangladesh. And he was saying to this day, although the there are all these great benefits for the members who work there locally, they aren't giving payouts to all these
oh,
small
okay. Oh.
members. All of the surplus is being kept in the central bank because they're not ready. They aren't ready to do payouts yet
Yeah.
to the small member owners.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So
There are inequalities still.
yep. So putting this back into why we are talking about it
Sure.
as the structure for ORT as One River Tea. We technically are an incorporated S corp, whatever, but like we're trying to operate as a cooperative, right?
Yeah.
With different member worker owners and getting people. We just got our first employee, right?
Yes.
I feel weird calling her an employee, but
Well, I mean, she'll be an employee until whenever we go to Hong Kong.
yeah, and restart the business.
So what we'll do is we'll have a new like legal enterprise in Hong Kong. Where up until this point, like Xiaoyan for the Kansas business, she was never as a Chinese national.
Right,
She
yeah.
was never able to be in there, right? So we'll
Exactly. Yeah.
be able to have one entity legally. So it's very Chinese. It was a kind of an informal arrangement all of these years,
Yeah, all
right?
of these years
All
is
of these
it was
years.
just good faith on all of
It's
our
just good
parts.
faith,
Yeah.
yeah. But like,
It's
yeah,
like, yeah,
seriously,
all the money is in my bank account in America, and I'm just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, yeah, I'll send it. Don't worry.
And so far so good.
So far, so good.
But like, uh, yeah. So now we'll actually be legally an entity, right? And legally we'll simplify the bylaws, right?
Yeah.
I think you've given a good critique before of measuring like hourly like labor points, and you will find in the 1960s and 70s the most successful like people's communes in China, they had dagaigong. They had
Okay.
rough labor points, but they dropped the accounting because it was cumbersome.
Right. Yeah.
It was
It's
cumbersome.
more work. So,
Yeah.
but with you talked about like labor points, payouts, equity, and stuff like that. So like getting to the new member Zhang and like her trajectory in the
That's
cooperative.
right.
Right.
Yeah. So what we'll do is like and this is inspired by the same system that Bishafu worked under
Oh, great. Yeah.
because they had
Which they existed for what 100 years.
so it was
So okay.
a sustainable system.
Yeah.
Graded wages for worker owners, right?
Mhm.
So what that means is you come in for the first 3 years. What was Bishafu doing? He was just bringing in the leaves, right?
Okay. Yeah.
He was just
Bringing
bringing in
in
the leaves for the first 3. He was a xietu, as they call it, an apprentice.
Mm.
So we can have the same system where there's the apprentice and then the senior worker. Because just at that factory there, or for us here at ORT, it took a lot of years for us to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
It took
A
a lot of
lot of
years.
learning. Yeah.
Took a lot of learning, took a lot of difficulty, I feel
Mhm.
like. And like, so it would not be fair if then the new guy or the new whoever comes in and then they get immediately all the same benefits, all the equity we've put in there over the years. Yeah, just because.
But will they get enough to live? Right. Like what's
So already, so like, so come next month after, once she already is making like double the Ensha
right.
like salary, right? She already gets her pension,
Right. The
which
shabao.
is more than most Americans can
Right.
say.
Yeah. So we're paying her social security. Yeah.
Her Social Security. Then, in a few months' time, she will then go from. So how it's structured now is there's part time. Just like factories to have part time workers.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because the Lingsher.
Then you going
As
right.
well.
Yeah.
You also you don't want to immediately be like, okay, you're a member, right? You'd be
Because
like,
you
okay,
have to
like
fill them out.
yeah.
You have to get to know each other. It's kind of
Yeah.
a two-way. And then part-time, apprentice, then the senior worker. And then all those can be like subdivided into
And
two
then
tiers.
senior worker, is there a step above that for worker owner or
So what even as an apprentice, you're a member owner, right?
right? Yeah. Okay, got it.
The difference is benefits
Yep,
ultimately.
different
Yeah.
benefits.
Yeah.
And we also have this cool idea too, where it's okay, like looking at how much to pay the apprentices, senior workers, worker owners, part time, based on the average salary for your location, right?
Yep.
And so you're saying she's making double the Ensure salary.
Yep.
But if we look at like all of China, the mean salary or your average salary of China, what is that?
I think it's what is it 8,000 now?
8,000
Yeah.
8,000 kwai a month,
Yep.
which is about $1,000, a little
Yep,
more,
just about.
more or less.
Just about, yeah.
And so about $1,000 a month is the average salary here in China. Is she making that yet?
No.
No, not yet. So yeah, so
But
that
she
would
will at
be
the end of the year.
yeah. So right now she's part time essentially, right?
Yeah, right now she's getting 6,000.
6,000. So then when she becomes an apprentice, she'll make that average salary, right?
That's right.
And then the senior worker maybe double that salary.
And part of the beauty of it is like we all have this base pay because we need
Mhm.
security.
Right. Yeah.
We're all adults. We need security. We need this to be. This was a hobby a few years
Right.
ago, right? This
Yeah.
was a self-funding hobby a few years after that.
Self-funding, yeah.
But so for this to work, just like with Master B or his father before him, you have your base salary, and that's guaranteed.
Right.
Then you have your dividends.
Ah.
And he had it too.
That's
And
the payouts.
he was saying
Whoa,
in
he got it.
2005,
Yeah.
买断. What does that mean?
Buy out.
Buy cut off. They bought back all the equity.
Wow.
he put into it, and but this
Wow.
is the go away money.
And that's what he bought, his new house, right?
Yeah, exactly right. It's like
It's-
and that's measured just in years.
yeah.
The years you put into it, it's
Wow.
a sum of money, and
That's cool, yeah. The
that's
equity you
beautiful.
put in, yeah.
Yeah. So in addition to just the base salary, the years of service.
Right. Yeah, that's it, yeah.
So there's two elements. There's the work you're putting in now, and all the work you put in before.
That's yeah.
So that's
Because you the cooperative changes as you put in your labor to it.
Yep.
Right. And so it's like having an employee that comes in, having a worker owner that comes in, 10 years after it's already started, you're working into a different system.
That's right.
That the people 10 years before you created.
That's right. Yeah.
Like they did all of the hard work trying to figure out how it's the best way to do this and that. And so it's cool seeing like these really understanding the ways of like fair reimbursement. And it is fair. And like one way that we want it to be fair is to make sure that no one is earning too much in this structure. Right. And so like we're even talking about, capping our own salaries as the founders to maybe like 3 times like the average income.
That's right.
Right. No more than 3 times the average income, because more than that it becomes excessive. Right.
Well, and a classic problem of cooperatives is they don't want to find new people.
Because they want their share to keep growing.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And so there's a tendency in cooperatives. What happens is they want to get it going, they get it steady. Then I want to do as less work as possible, but I keep it going steady. I don't want to bring anyone else in because I'm going to cut my pie, right? And then eventually the cooperative gets in a situation where it becomes stagnant.
Right.
You're not bringing in new people or new energies
not
or new
growing,
projects.
yeah.
You're just trying to I'm just going to try to keep this nice thing going for me as the world around you changes.
Changes and develops, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the natural tension of a cooperative, but I think it can be overcome.
Right.
And it's going to be.
And we spent the past, God, how many years? 6, 7 years doing One River Tea.
Yes, 2018.
2018. I think yeah. We first started traveling in 2017.
Yes.
Officially started in 2018, but we've done a lot of that with just, I put in my own money here, you put in your own money there. We don't get paid. We support the project. Like
Yeah, we were not taking out money from ORT consistently until what, 2019? No,
2021.
Forgive me.
I think.
2019 is not last year.
Yeah, I think it was post-COVID,
2023. 2023.
2023 was when we were actually like, oh my God, like we're making money.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think 2021 was the first year we would start taking draws.
That's right.
Where it's like, I need a little money because I don't have any money this month, right?
Yeah.
And so that's like, I think in 2019 it started becoming self-funding to a certain extent.
Yes.
Where we stopped dumping all of our own money. Not
the tea you sold before could buy more tea in the future.
Yeah. But again, I was also not playing by those rules. I was like, no, I want more tea now.
I understand. I understand.
So I would buy it, and then
you guys need to buy this now.
Eventually, you guys would sell it. I would sell it back to you guys. Yeah. But yeah, so interesting ideas, and it's so cool that we have our own cooperative and we can really play around with these things, and follow the influences that inspire us, right? Like what was the supermarket called?
Pang Dong Lai. Look it up, folks.
Pang
Dong Lai.
Pang Dong Lai. I'll put it in the notes.
Pangdong.
Pang Dong Lai.
Yes.
We've also what's the not Mantrelong.
Nanjisun?
In
Mandragon in Spain.
Mondragon.
Yes, Mandragon.
Mondragon Cooperative, and then also like these state-owned and run factories for tea that were just giants in these communities for like 100 years. Yeah. It was really cool seeing this in Qimen, like seeing its historical, influence and everything. So, anyways, I think we're past the hour mark, so
okay,
got to wrap it up. Any final words?
Just that to stay tuned, and we're looking for a new canvas, if you will, to really, I think, so we're bringing in new people.
Right.
And something else I should probably say is just like, we will look for somewhere else in China, like, because something you saw yesterday, not Master B, Master Zhang in the morning, the other guy, what they're talking about, like in their village here, in the village, which is Guishi Village.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in Guishi Village,
Pingli.
Pingli Township, Guishi
Okay,
Village.
that's
Their village is buying a certain quantity of the tea from all of the households there, their household included.
That's
So they've actually done it. I know China has been trying to do it for the last 5 years. It's kind of start and stop, but you want to get these villages to have a village brand and then to sell the tea kind of collectively, right? So you buy all the tea from these private households, they get their money. Then you turn around and you sell that tea, and then the profit of that tea can go to the village for everyone. It can be given out in dividends, it can go to building tourism stuff, which I didn't see that much of yet.
Tourism
In Guishi, it didn't seem like they
That's
were
a
really
beautiful park, right?
beautiful park, and yeah, so
But yeah, and then those other places seem like private enterprises, like
that's
the
right.
restaurant and the hotel.
That's right. So
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe you have to look more closely at infrastructure, at small things that are being put back into the village.
that's right. And yeah, I mean that I think is going to be the future of the cooperative movement in China, and that's where I want ORT to go. I guess that's my
So yeah, so I think we are finally getting ready to leave Mayantai and looking for new canvas, as Ellen says, looking for a new garden, and hopefully one that will let us kind of do our thing, let us create this cooperative ideal, let us create that village brand, that thing that everyone works together and everyone shares the benefits of it. Because it seemed like we moved into Mayantai and Hefeng, and there were too many kind of solitary players involved. People that were really just in it for themselves. It's difficult. You can listen to the past episodes where we talk a lot about it. But I think it's going to moving in new directions. We have a lot of inspiration, a lot of things that have worked in China that we're seeing that we know we can implement if we just have the right tools or the right canvas. So. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. This is Derek from One River Tea,
Alex from One River Tea.
and yeah, stay tuned for the Qimen drop, for the Shuixian drop, for a lot of new teas, and hopefully for Wenzitong's oolong stall.
I think they're here. They're coming.
They should be here. All
Okay.
right.
Peace.
Until next time, guys. Brew happy.